The cupping marks themselves have diagnostic value. So as you'll be leaving the cups on your client according to the prescribed amount in order to get the mark, when you pull it off, every mark sort of has its own characteristic, and you can use what you see on your client in order to drive the diagnosis of what's happening in the client. So any mark that is quick to raise, so it comes up really fast as soon as you put the cup on, you know that that is a more acute problem. If a mark takes a little bit longer to show up, no matter like if you're using a strong suction, you really feel like the mark should be there and it takes maybe the full 5 minutes for the mark to show up, you know that you're working with a more chronic or a deeper problem in the body. And the opposite is also true. So when marks resolve really quickly or they go away after a few days, the health of the qi and blood are good. So your client has good qi and blood circulation. Marks that take longer to disappear also means that your client has poor qi and blood circulation. And as you tend to do more cupping on this client, the marks will appear sooner as well as disappear sooner. We can also take a look at my model here and see the colors of the marks themselves have diagnostic value. So whenever you see puffiness in a mark, and it may be kind of difficult to see here, but this mark does have a distinct depression, and then where the cup was placed, it's puffier or it's elevated in the skin. This will always mean qi stagnation. And so sometimes you'll pull the cups off and the whole area where you've cupped will be very swollen and very puffy. And that means localized qi stagnation there in that area. Cupping marks that are bright red mean a condition that were earlier onset or they more recently occurred. They can also mean the early onset of a cold or a flu. So looking at my model here, I see some bright red. These would be what I consider bright red marks in this area, meaning that the stagnation here is pretty recent and that this is probably going to go away and get a good resolution just in a couple of days. Darker marks or more purple marks means a lot of heat and stagnation. If you're seeing very dark purple, maybe even sometimes looking kind of like black marks, that means very deep heat stagnation. Sometimes that dark purple, that dark black can mean an accumulation of cold in the body. As cupping marks fade, they can turn from dark purple to maybe a darker red and maybe even brown or yellowish, and all of that is perfectly normal. And whenever you're using cupping on a person of color, the marks will usually show up as a light to dark red or even a dark purple.
If you liked this video and you want to see more, make sure to subscribe below and don't forget to hit the notification button.